These are 14.1 notes, human chromosomes. So today we're talking about the human chromosome and what happens when there's a problem with the human chromosome. So let's move on to the next page of our notes. In order to study the chromosome, or the human chromosomes, we need to know what the genome is, and we're going to need to talk about a karyotype. The genome is the entire set of your genetic material, the entire thing, all of the A's, the T's, the C's, and the G's that code for proteins that make you who you are. In your genome, you have 46 chromosomes, and we display these chromosomes on a karyotype right here. And the karyotype starts off, it's ordered by size. So you can see that the largest chromosome here is the first one, and it gets smaller and smaller until you get down to the 22nd one. And then here we have the X and Y chromosomes. There are 44 chromosomes that are not sex chromosomes. These are autosomes. Let me turn on my pen so I can show you. I don't know where my picture went. So these are the autosomes. Autosomes just means the chromosomes that are not sex chromosomes. And if we move down to the next page, here we have our sex chromosomes. Right down here as our X and Y chromosomes. And when there's a problem on your X and Y chromosome, this is called a sex-linked problem or sex-linked trait. So sex-linked traits are genes that are found on your sex chromosomes. And they also determine your gender. So a female has an X and an X, and a male has an X and a Y. And this right here is an X chromosome, and this is a Y. And you can see that the Y chromosome is quite a bit smaller than the X. And this has repercussions. The X chromosome has 1,200 genes on it, whereas the Y chromosome has only 140. When there's an issue, let's say there's a problem with your color vision, and this is on your X chromosome. However, it's not on the Y chromosome. So a male that has a healthy X and a healthy Y chromosome will have fine vision. But if there's a problem on the X chromosome, there's no backup. There's no second chance to have healthy vision. And so this is why more males have color blindness, because they don't have that second X chromosome as backup. So let's put this in your notes. Females have 2 X chromosomes. If there's a mutation on one, so if there's a problem on one, let's say for color blindness or for making clotting factors, to help stop bleeding, then she's got one gene and then another for a backup. So if there's a problem on one, then she still will have a second chance. Whereas if a male has a mutation on one of his X chromosome, there's no other chromosome to compensate for it. So he's more likely to have hemophilia, a disease called hemophilia, or a disease called color blindness. Let's look at color blindness pretty quickly. So there are 3 genes on the X chromosome that code for color vision. If any of them contain a mutation, color blindness will occur. So there's a couple of different types of color blindness. One is red-green. So somebody with red-green color blindness has a hard time differentiating between red and green colors. And there's also blue-yellow color blindness as well. So somebody that has blue-yellow has a hard time differentiating between blue things and yellow things, or blue color and yellow colors. In males, 1 in 12 males have color blindness, whereas 1 in 200 females have color blindness. This is because females have that second X chromosome as a backup. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at how this plays out in Punnett squares. How can we keep track of or find the probability that an offspring is going to have a disease like hemophilia, which is sex-linked, and also color blindness. So I'm going to do a couple of problems on a sheet that you guys are going to be doing in class. Here is the first question on your worksheet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make myself disappear here. And in humans, hemophilia is a sex-linked trait, which means it's found on the X chromosome. Females can be normal carriers or have the disease. Males will either have the disease or they will not be carriers. So hemophilia is a disease where your body can't make clotting factor, which is what helps you to stop bleeding. This isn't necessarily a big deal for small cuts, but internal bleeding can be a problem, and so can your joints, like your knees and your elbows. So if we were to set up a Punnett square for this, show the cross of a man who has hemophilia with a woman who is a carrier. So let's look at this right here. This is the male, and he's a hemophiliac. It is a recessive trait. So here, a male has an X chromosome, so let's draw X, and he has a Y chromosome. So we're going to put Y. He doesn't have an X and an X, he has an X and a Y. And in order for him to have the disease, it has to be a recessive allele. So this is going to be a lowercase h. Now the disease is not found, or the mutation is not found on the Y chromosome. So we don't put anything there. We leave that blank. Here, we're going to set up the mother's genotype. And the mother is a carrier. So she has, if we look here, she has one normal allele and one hemophilia allele. So let's always set up, I always put the big H's first and the little h's second. Here we go. And if we do this Punnett square, it looks like this. Let's put the big H's first and the little h's second. So big H, X, little h. Here we have X, little h, X, little h. Here we have X, Y, big H, X, Y, little h. Let's look at what we have. We have an X and an X, big H, little h. So this is a daughter that is a carrier. This would be a daughter that is a hemophiliac. They have two recessive alleles. Here there's a son who is healthy, normal, and this is a son that has hemophilia. So what is the probability that their children will have the disease? If they have a child, one child, the probability that they have the disease is going to be this here and this here. That's going to be 50%. So that's one. I'll do another one for you. Let me just move the page down. Mary's a normal man. So here, let's draw the square. I'm going to do it up here since there's more room. And a woman who is a carrier, so she has X, big H, X, little h, marries a normal man, so he has an X, big H, and a Y. So let's go X, big H, X, big H, X, big H, X, little h, X big H, Y, X little h, Y. What is the probability that their children will have hemophilia? Let's see, this is a carrier. This is a normal healthy child. This is a normal healthy girl here. This is a normal healthy boy. This is a child that has hemophilia. So this is a boy. So it's going to be 25%, and it's going to be a male. All right, this should be enough to help you with the rest of the problems. And if you have questions, I will tackle those when I get back. All right, have a great day.